Kiji. Nataka unipatie jina ya huyu jamaa. Parade adjutant.
invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, the parade is currently under the command of the Deputy Parade Commander, Mr. Jamlet Baruya, Assistant Superintendent of Police, after having been handed over the command by the Parade Adjutant. Ladies and gentlemen, the parade that is before you is divided into two wings. We have the Eastern Wing, where we have the Kenya Police Service Band, and the Western Wing. It consists of 12 divisions, that is from Division A to Division L, which are further divided into 36 squads. One division comprises of 3 squads, and in each squad, we've got a squad commander who is a member of the inspectorate as the in charge, assisted by 2 NCOs. A division is led by Chief Inspector Daniel Kemboi. B division, Chief Inspector Caroline Binya. C division, Chief Inspector Emmanuel Ahud. D division, Chief Inspector John Junge. E division, Chief Inspector Monica Mbugwa. F division, Inspector Anthony Seko. G division, Chief Inspector Elizabeth Vivi. H division, Inspector Jane Gasheri. I division, Inspector Elijah Kamau. J division, Chief Inspector Robert Kipkoech. K division, Inspector Khaled Chemweno. And the last division is Division L, led by Chief Inspector Mohammed Bocha.
Ata hand over tena.
Naam, wageni wetu walikuwa viongozi wa kutoka tabaka mbalimbali. Hivi sasa naibu kamanda wa gwaride hili Bwana Jamlet Ngaruya, msaidizi mratibu wa polisi, amekwisha mkabidhi kamanda wa gwaride hili Bwana Richard Kipkurui Ngeno, mratibu mkuu mwandamizi wa polisi. Amiri Jeshi Mkuu wa majeshi yote nchini, karibu, karibu Kiganjo, karibu sana. Rais wetu wa Jamhuri ya Kenya, karibu. Amiri Jeshi Mkuu wa majeshi yote ya ulinzi, karibu, 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 karibu. Rais wetu Amiri Jeshi Mkuu wa majeshi yote nchini, karibu, karibu tena, karibu, karibu kwa sherehe hii, karibu. Naam, wale ambao uko na vitu hivi sasa Rais wa Jamhuri yetu ya Kenya
permission to fall in and carry on. Thank you, Your Excellency. Thank you, Excellency.
He is decorated with the marksman badge. He will also be presented with a trophy.
Thank you, Excellency.
Rudisha hii kamera.
Vuta kabisa kwa nyuma.
Rudi nyuma kidogo tafadhali.
Rudi nyuma kidogo. Songa nyuma kidogo.
you, Your Excellency, under the command of Inspector General of Police, directed by Sergeant William Bayo and Corporal Minyera Indonesia. Before you, Your Excellency, is Inspector Elina Kamal, commanding Squad Number 9. He is assisted by Sergeant Nelson Silent and Sergeant Geoffrey Mutinda. Squad Number 10, before you, Your Excellency, under the command of Chief Inspector Robert Mawen. He is assisted by Corporal Bob Ulo and Corporal Mujizi Suleiman. Before you, Your Excellency, is Squad Number 11. Squad Number 11 is under the command of Inspector Khalid Kiwena. He is assisted by Corporal Roach Care and Corporal Paul Okoye. Squad Number 12, before you, Your Excellency, commanded by Chief Inspector Mohammed Echam. He is assisted by Sergeant Samuel Tuju and Corporal Evans Karasa.
Basi Mheshimiwa Rais, kwa heshima na taadhima ya hali ya juu inachokesha kutoka ni kile kikundi cha 13 chenye uongozi wake Msalama Jeru akisaidia na Dr. Nur Hassan, mwelekezi upande wa kulia Dr. Michael Furaya. Kikundi cha 14 Mheshimiwa Rais mbele yako kwa sasa ikiwa chini ya uongozi wake anayesaidiana na Sergeant Scholastica Mutui, mwelekezi upande wa kulia ni Corporal Mark Ayabe. Wakikanyaga kwa maringo ya mwendo Mheshimiwa Rais mbele yako kwa sasa ni kile kikundi cha 15 chini ya uongozi wake mwelekezi upande wa kulia ni Dr. Jackson Tibu. Moja Mheshimiwa Rais mbele yako kwa sasa wakiwa wamekata shingo upande wa kulia ikiwa chini ya uongozi wake katika Karibu Karibu naye Dr. Mkono Godana mwelekezi upande wa kulia ni Dr. Mkono Mutich. kikundi cha kinamili Mheshimiwa Rais mbele yako ikiwa chini ya uongozi wa Sekta Hamid akisaidiana na Wizara ya Umeme kuelekea upande wa kulia Dr. Abdullah Geli. Kikundi cha kinadamu Mheshimiwa Rais mbele yako ikiwa chini ya uongozi wake kikundi cha 24 Mheshimiwa Rais mbele yako ikiwa chini ya uongozi wake Sekta ya Umeme ya Kenya kusaidiana kuelekea upande wa kulia
kile cha 25 ikiwa chini ya uongozi wake Inspekta Patrick Makau akisaidiwa na Kapteni Francini Ayubu akieleza upande wa kulia ni Kapteni Amos Rateno. Kikundi cha 30 Mheshimiwa Rais ikiwa chini ya uongozi wake Inspekta viatuni wamesimama sawa sawia na lile daraja la kwanza. Hivi sasa tusubiri lile daraja la tatu ambalo kwa mwisho wao pia waweze kumiliki safu zao.
Oath of office. I do swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Constitution and the President of Kenya. During my service in the Kenya Police. Without favor or affection. Malice or ill will. duties thereof. Faithfully according to law. And I will subject myself to the Constitution. All acts. Orders and regulations. Now or in future in service. Relating to my service. In the Kenya Police Service. And that I will discharge. All the duties of a police officer. According to law. Without fear. Favor. Affection or ill will. So help me God.
And gentlemen, I take this opportunity to welcome you all to Kenya Police College Kiganjo. We feel honored for you coming here to witness the 9 months rigorous training of the recruits who are before you. Sir, 4,000 recruits assembled in Kiganjo in May 2017, but currently we have 3,969. The rest left the service due to various reasons when their course was terminated. Your Excellency, we have had a chance of coming to Kiganjo to witness the open day for these recruits, whereby they demonstrated what they had been taught at this college. During that time, we have had a chance of talking to the recruits, and today it is your day, and we are not going to make more speeches because we have already done that. Your Excellency, I wish to thank you most sincerely for gracing this occasion, which the recruits were expecting.
Your Excellency, the President and the Commander-in-Chief of the Kenya Defense Forces, the Cabinet Secretary in the Ministry of Interior and Coordination of National Government, the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Interior and Coordination of National Government, the Governor of this county and the visiting governor from Nairobi County, the Deputy Inspector General, Kenya Police Service, Administration Police Service, and the DCI, the Chairman of the National Police Service Commission, the Commandant of this institution, senior officers, both serving and retired. And at this juncture, Your Excellency, allow me to acknowledge the presence of former Deputy Inspector General, Madam Kaindi, and the presence of retired Chief Inspector Kipchoge Keino, parents, guardians, and the officers who are graduating today, distinguished guests. I want to thank you also, Your Excellency, for supporting the National Police Service in the modernization program, in which we have seen a lot of new things given to us to enable us to do our job. At this juncture, Your Excellency, allow me to invite the Cabinet Secretary for Interior, National and Coordination of National Government to make his remarks and thereafter invite you, sir. The Cabinet Secretary, sir.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya and the Commander-in-Chief of the Kenya Defense Forces, the Honorable Governor of Nyeri County and the Governor of Nairobi County, my colleagues from national government across the spectrum of responsibility, led by the Deputy Head of Public Service, Wanyama Musiambu, my colleagues from the Ministry of Interior, led by my three colleagues who are here, our Chief Administrative Secretary, Honorable Ntutu, our two PSS, Dr. Karanja Kibicho and General Kialangwa, the Chairperson of the National Police Service Commission, the Inspector General, the DIGs, DCIO, the Commandant of this institution, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellency, in the history of the Kenya National Police Service, today is an important day. It is not just a passing out parade, but it is the first time we are witnessing the graduation of our police officers trained within the framework of a new, longer, enhanced, more rigorous curriculum in line with your guidance and your directive that we reform the police service in Kenya. So, Your Excellency, this is one of the first fruits of the institutional reforms that you have directed in the National Police Service. I have had occasion to attend some of the open days, and I agree with what the Inspector General has said, that Kenyans will witness a slightly different police officer as they move around with a new way of training and approach to the work that they are going to do. I want to thank you, Your Excellency, on my own behalf and on behalf of my colleagues from the Ministry of Interior, for your personal interest and for your leadership in the work that we are doing. We are one sector that cannot complain because, Your Excellency, you have personally ensured that we are supported by the Exchequer, that we get the solid leadership from your office when we need it, and at all times, Your Excellency, when we deal with the management of the police service, we've never come to a point where we are in want. I thank you also, sir, for finding time to join us today at this ceremony, which is very important, not just for the police officers, but for the government and for the entirety of our nation. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the day of the Commander-in-Chief of the Kenya Defense Forces, our President and the head of our state. Therefore, may I kindly request you to join me in welcoming His Excellency, our beloved President, to address us and preside over this graduation ceremony. Your Excellency, sir.
Thank you very much, Fred, to get your sense. The Governor of Nyeri County and the leadership of Nyeri County that hosts this wonderful institution, Governor Nairobi, IG na timu yako yote, recruits, fellow Kenyans. Let me begin to say that I'm once again very delighted to be here at this police training college to preside over this year's recruits passing out parade. Indeed, as has been stated, nearly 4,000 of you graduate today, and I would like to take this early opportunity to congratulate you for having endured the rigors of the training to participate in today's event, which is the highlight of your days here. Making it this far is not only a personal achievement, but also a source of pride for your family members who have come to witness your big day as you begin your careers in the National Police Service. I, as President, welcome you to the important duty of providing public safety and security to our country so that citizens can go about their tasks of building the nation with confidence. I am convinced from what we have seen from today's parade, what you have displayed, and indeed from the report of the school commandant, that you are ready to take up your positions in the field. Policing, without a doubt, is at the heart of building a united and cohesive nation. Policing is at the center of building a strong economy that leaves no one behind, and good policing is really the fulcrum on which shared prosperity rests. As we have heard, the new recruits training curriculum, which has been deployed here for the very first time, has had ample lessons for you in these important matters. You have heard from your instructors the fundamentals of leadership, the concept of national security, as well as how to counter violent extremism. So today I urge you to go and apply this knowledge to safeguard the Kenyan people and to safeguard our economy and to safeguard our democracy. As you are aware, my government has promoted the multi-agency approach in dealing with threats to national security and organized crime. And the successes we have recorded in recent months around fighting terrorism are an example. I encourage all recruits to make use of what you have been taught in this context, for it has proven results. As you leave this college, I urge you to live by the virtues and ideals as imparted in you by your instructors. Senior hierarchy in the police service are men and women who came through the ranks after graduating from this college. It is about discipline and a fidelity to the rule of law. You are expected to maintain the highest standards of integrity and professionalism while performing your duties. Ladies and gentlemen, you have just taken your oath of allegiance, and Kenyans will be watching your every step as they expect to receive quality policing services from you, owing to your superior training. You will also be deployed to serve in all parts of our country, and it is expected of you to appreciate the diversity of our culture. Let me now, in closing, just make a few reflections. First, my administration has radically revamped the Kenya Police Service. You have today better, more modern equipment, and are better able to respond to routine requirements and emergencies, and the police to civilian ratio is greatly improved. Second, my administration has committed a considerable amount of resources to address welfare and overall conditions of service, and we are also in the process of constructing more and better housing units so that officers can live in a dignified manner. Third, our country still faces the threat of terrorism, violent extremism, as well as radicalization, in addition to traditional crimes like simple pickpocketing. Security agencies alone cannot effectively eliminate these challenges. And I therefore today once again urge every Kenyan to play their role in fighting crime. Pass to the police vital information on any suspicious happening in your neighborhood, and together as a people, we are better placed to successfully fight crime. Let me conclude by taking this opportunity once again to congratulate each and every one of you on your graduation. I take this opportunity also to thank your parents and guardians for standing with you, and promise you that I also will stand with you as we walk the road of securing our nation. Therefore, I wish you God's blessings as you embark on your duties. of protecting our people and protecting our nation. Thank you, and God bless you all. Asanteni sana.
Mr. President, hep, 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 readiness, readiness. Your Excellency, may I have your permission to march off the parade? Thank you, Your Excellency.
They have promised to perform their duties according to law without fear, affection, favor, or ill will. They only need your cooperation, fellow Kenyans, to enable them enforce rules and regulations of this country. Your Excellency, the new officers have been taken through a rigorous training for the last 9 months. During their training, the instructors implemented the revised syllabus for the basic recruit course. The revised syllabus has been christened the Lioness model, lion being a national symbol of protection in Kenya. Your Excellency, just as a lioness protects her cubs, our new officers will always be reminded that their role is to protect the lives and properties of the Kenyan citizens. Your Excellency, through the revised syllabus, our new officers are able to interpret and apply all the basic laws and various acts of parliament relating to their duties. Your Excellency, they have been equipped with the basic life-saving skills, principles, and practices in handling various types of casualties. They are aware of all the various injuries and ailments that they may encounter in their workplaces or in disasters, and even the ways of offering emergency help whenever required. Your Excellency, the officers are aware of the different types of people that they are to serve outside, and for that reason, they were taught how to relate well with their customers. They are also aware of the different cultures in different societies. They have been groomed in a way that can appreciate the diversity of the communities within which they will be operating in. Your Excellency, because of the great instructions, we have produced officers who are alert at all times, very obedient, and have confidence in everything that they do. Drill has also ensured that they have teamwork spirit, and that is why they have managed to perform this parade.
Mheshimiwa Rais, kwa heshima na taadhima, maafisa hawa wapya na wachanga zaidi katika huduma yetu ya polisi, baada ya kula kiapo na kuahidi kwamba watalitumikia taifa letu tukufu la Kenya bila ubaguzi wowote, wanaondoka katika uga wetu wa Kwata tayari kwenda kuwatumikia wananchi wazalendo, huku wakiwa wamekabidhiwa nguvu na mamlaka ya kutosha kuambatana na sheria za nchi na vilevile mageuzi katika huduma ya polisi chini ya kauli mbiu utumishi kwa wote. Baadhi tu ya yale walioweza kuyasoma tangu wajiunga na chuo hiki mnamo tarehe 19 mwezi wa 5 mwaka 2017 ni zile sheria za jinai almaarufu criminal law, zikiwemo kanuni za ushahidi, kanuni za adabu, kanuni za taratibu za kesi za jinai na kadhalika. Mheshimiwa Rais, vijana hawa vilevile wameweza kutoa taaluma ya polisi almaarufu police professionalism, ambayo ndio uti wa mgongo katika utendakazi wa polisi. Vilevile Mheshimiwa Rais, maafisa hawa wameweza kupokea elimu jamii zikiwamo haki za kibinadamu, hasa kile kipengele cha 4 cha katiba yetu ya Kenya, usalama wa msingi almaarufu community policing, haki za watoto na jinsia, uhusiano mwema na wananchi na kadhalika. Mheshimiwa Rais, vijana hawa vilevile wameweza kupokea mafunzo ya matumizi ya silaha mbalimbali na vifaa mpya ambavyo vimeweza kununuliwa na serikali yake Mheshimiwa Rais ili kuimarisha usalama wa nchi. Vilevile wako na taaluma ya teknolojia mpya na mawasiliano ambayo itakumbuka kwamba ipo haja ya maafisa wa polisi kuwa na ile taaluma ya mawasiliano na teknolojia mpya ili kuweza kuimarisha utendakazi wa polisi. Vilevile wameweza kusoma somo la Kwata ambalo huambatanisha na vitendo na kukosa siku ya leo tukawa na gwaride la kupana na la kukata na toka. Tunakumbuka kwamba Mheshimiwa Rais, maafisa hawa vilevile wameweza kuzoa elimu ya kupambana na ugaidi na kuharamia, hasa ikizingatiwa kwamba taifa letu na dunia kwa jumla ipo katika tishio kubwa la ugaidi. Mheshimiwa Rais, asante Mheshimiwa Rais.
Basi your duties, anza kuelekea